The real estate market right now in Kelowna is shifting, but not everybody is agreeing which way it's going. Stay tuned to this video where we're looking at Kelowna Real Estate Weekly, where we're breaking down the real estate market on a weekly basis, the ins and outs of the market. So you're going to want to stay, especially if you're looking to buy, sell, invest. Everybody is Mark Kuntz here with Selling Kelowna Real Estate Group. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Okanagan, pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot me an email, whatever you need to do, however you like to communicate, we got your back. So reach out. We'd love to help you out. Everybody, is Mark Kuntz here with Selling Kelowna Real Estate Group. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Okanagan, pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot me an email. We got your back. So reach out. We'd love to help you out. So right now, we're going to break it into the highest and lowest part of segment of this. And coming in at the highest amount is 605 Elman and Dean Court. This one's in Upper Mission. It was a 2005 build, 4,753 square feet. This was a beautiful property. As you can imagine, set on 0.58 acres and just designed very well with a pool, Great Lake and city views coming from this in the desirable neighborhood of Upper Mission. This one was listed at 2.5 million. And sold for $2,450,000. If it is the right product, it will still sell and sell fairly fast. So if for a $2.4 million property selling within 10 days, there's some interest in the marketplace. And if you want to flip it and start looking at what the lowest price one was, I'm going to look at the cheapest ones. And one was on Lakeshore Drive. That sold for $105,000. This one was a mobile home. You can't go wrong with Lakeshore Drive, desirable neighborhood. There is definitely some issues with the lease, but $105 sold in 135 days, only 822 square feet, 1975 built. So that's where you're getting the highs and lows of this week's markets, all the way from 105,000 to 2.4 million. And as we're looking at it, here is the weekly in review. So looking at it, new listings on the market, 297 total listings. Back on the market, 6 price drops. So we're seeing a substantial amount of price drops still in the marketplace, 89 sales. So that's going to be down from where we saw before. And there's actually has been a trend because if you recall, go back 2 weeks, the world is just changing on a dime these days. And if you go back 2 weeks, what you'd see on the marketplace is with the 12-day war, we saw about roughly around a 20% drop since the war started until the end of June. Just in total active sales. Could be the start of summer holidays and school wrapping up and a number of different grads and that sort of thing. So that's not necessarily the direct cause on the drop in sales. We're starting to see it rebound a little bit because it was on average about 70 to 80 sales a week. So we're now averaging a little bit higher, which is nice to see. Cancellations, we're still seeing lots of cancellation and expired. But a lot, again, as we mentioned, cancellations will likely come back on the market. Expireds potentially might come back on the market as well. So if you're actively looking, sometimes going after these active or canceled listings, please do reach out if you do have one or you hadn't been watching one and it fell off the market. Sometimes they're still wanting to sell. They're just waiting for the right time or going to come back on. And in this segment, we're looking at the 3 articles here. And so the first article we're having up is Kelowna's councillor pushes for policies supporting affordable home ownership. So keep this in mind for a future one. Councillor Ron Cannon essentially is urging the city to really prioritize first-time homebuyers and smaller attainable ownership options over the large-scale rental units. So they're saying there are too many young families, and I would tend to agree with Ron Cannon on this situation. Young families are being priced out because we're really just going for all these purpose-built rentals, and we're not building enough of the actual housing that people want to live in. We're going to a lot of these small developers because small units that are being developed because of parking allocations and making it a lot easier to get the parking and to get the approval because it looks good on the pro forma. But at the end of the day, when you chalk it out, we're not necessarily building housing that would be a great idea and great options moving forward. What kind of situation and what kind of future issues are we actually creating with a lot of these new developments happening? Time will obviously tell, but if we get ahead of it now, before it's more of an issue and start building more of the right housing, then we're going to be off in a better spot. So my personal thoughts, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this, how Ron Cannon is essentially putting a motion forward to direct municipal incentives towards home ownership. So he wants to see more duplexes. He wants to see more townhomes and that sort of thing versus the apartment side of things. Let me know in the comments. I really like this idea. I think it's a great opportunity right now, especially with the 29-story apartment being proposed. They kind of play hand in hand. So this is from Castnet. Back in May, there's a 29-story tower coming in. So this is in Kelowna's north end, and it's Vancouver-based Almus Development is proposing a 29-story high-rise with 230 homes and commercial spaces on Bay Avenue. So this is part of the new revitalization of the North End plan. So we have Ellis Street there and Bay Avenue. If you're not familiar with it as well, the North End is undergoing a new master plan. So there's lots of changes coming there. Reach out, give me a comment, and you can comment I can send you guys the link towards the new master plan that's happening and is before city final. But there is essentially before city council, but 29 stories. This is bonusing additional 14 stories or 40 stories total. So there is a lot of different opportunities and different places. It's really going to come down to parking. And so the height exceeding 26 must contribute to bonusing in accordance with regulations and include 230 residential units and 242 parking stalls. So when you're looking at it, definitely parking is going to start becoming an issue. You only have about one parking stall per unit in there. So something to think as we're getting it proposed. I definitely think with the development we're having, it'd be good to start to see a lot of bigger units being touched on. So that's going to hurt resale down in the future. All right. And in this one, West Kelowna is to explore higher fees on new homes. So this is one I actually feel very strongly about. But essentially, West Kelowna is looking to consider a new amenity cost charges for new developments. So essentially, I'm not 100% sure what it is. For the city of Kelowna, though, that development cost charges is going to be around $26,000 per unit. So if you have a 100-unit place, just do the math. $26,000 times 100 units, that's a huge fee. This is in addition to that. So this one is really to provide for public services. I get it. I live in West Kelowna and there isn't a lot, as a young city, we need more public services. And critics are also warning against it as well. So we'll see what the city of Kelowna and council members are really not really for. It seems like there's a little bit of competition back and forth, but taxing your way to new housing, to affordable housing, in my opinion, is not going to be the right way. Anytime you add new taxes, it's going to be passed down to the homeowner at the end of the day. So even though I feel very strongly and passionate about this, and I don't believe that taxes are going to be the right way, in Canada, we're already taxed at a high rate. And if you look at it, not only from income tax, but when you break it down to the total amount of taxes you're paying, you calculate it based on the taxes you pay at the grocery store or getting gas and all the different aspects to it. We are taxed fairly heavily in Canada. You're probably going to find out you're actually taxed somewhere between 60 to 70% on your actual total income. We're now adding more taxes to it that it's eventually going to be passed along. So we're not creating more affordable housing. It's actually going to make a lot of projects that are the market right now for new developments. The new starts are not starting with the capacity we need. CMHC just came out with a report last month that they said that Canada needs to double the amount of housing to bring houses pricings affordable. And that as affordable is 2019 figures. So if we double the amount of housing provided, and chances are, based on what we're seeing, they're going to go to the higher density units, which are not really going to be the most applicable and most lovely places to live. People want to see that single family home dream is now becoming the duplex or the townhome type of dream. So if we're changing that up and we're not adding the right types of housing to the marketplace and we're just building a lot of these small apartment types of units, we're really going to price ourselves and we're going to dig our province and our cities into a deep hole. So I'll get off my soapbox now, and now you've heard me up, but let me know in your comments your take on that, because I would like to hear your opinion.